All right, check, 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 check. We are streaming live. We are streaming on YouTube, streaming in our Facebook group right now, and everything looks to be good. Um, for those of you that wants to join in, the join link, I dropped that in the first comment. So let me make sure that the join link is right there. So hop in. I've got a quick win I want to share with, and then I want to go over a trendy reel that we recently edited and provide some tips on how you can film better, um, so that we're able to put together a better content for you guys. So it is Wednesday, September 10th on 2025. Oh man, like a lot went on today. Just social media is a hot mess. Not sure what in the world is happening in this country, but I don't know. Just trying to not be too political. Just do the right thing. Care for other people. Treat other people like you want to be treated. We call that the golden rule, right? Then I think everything's gonna be okay. All right, so quick win that I want to share with everybody. One of the biggest mistake that I think that I made in my business is that when I first started, I got I got really lucky because I was a producing real estate agent, and I happen to belong to a fairly big brokerage. And when I made that very first, walkthrough video back in, I think it's 2017. One of these days, I'm gonna have to find that video and then show it to everybody because it's super cringe. But anyways, when I made that video, it sort of like went mini viral, and there was a lot of buzz in the brokerage, and let's just say I just got like free exposure, and it's a big brokerage, so I got just kind of naturally connected with a lot of agents that wanted to utilize my services. So anyways, one of the biggest things that I regret is that I did not focus on outbound sales when things were busy. It didn't even register. In fact, like I just thought this is how it was gonna be, but things change as life goes on, as time passes by. Things change, and oh man, like if you are just starting out, or if you feel like you are on the top of the world because we had just had another really busy season, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like so much business. Just you gotta do outbound sales constantly and consistently. That's one of the key things that I can say that will drive your success. So anyways, realizing this, you know, fairly late in the game, I started doing lots of different outreach, and among other things like, you know, texting, calling, visiting people at open houses, and coming up with different ideas, listing relaunch, and so. I had a couple of days last week where, and I still got to get better at this. I need to be consistent, and I need to do it constantly myself. So I was doing a email outreach, and these are cold outreach. Like, I don't know these agents, but where I got the information was, all right, so let's see. It looks like Zach is gonna join in. Let me let him in real quick. So where I got their information was, hey, what's going on, Zach?
What's up, Jay? How's it
Cool,
going,
cool,
man?
cool.
Good to
Just
see you.
in the middle of sharing a quick story. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
keep going, man.
uh, I got the I did cold email outreach like week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and how I got this the information was the listing website, the delivery platform that I use is a company called Rela HQ, and they're one of the unique companies that actually have a real estate agent facing business, meaning it's not just the photographers that have access to the platform, like they actually have retail, like everyday agents that use their listing website. So when I found that out, I just did a search on Facebook, like Rela HQ, and what do you know? It brought up a ton of agents who were just sharing their Rela HQ websites on Facebook, without their own branding. So what I started to do was I just kind of went down and I started kind of picking out the listings that that weren't like done very well or properly, and I just started making like a Loom video of saying, hey, you might want to do this, you might want to do this, and this is gonna help you better. Like, and I probably sent out like 15 or 20 of those emails. Um, and one of them was a local agent, and I I like the expectation was not great. I was just like, hey, look, I'm trying to add value, and if they find it valuable, maybe they'll reach out to me.
Mm.
So I got an agent that reached back out to me, and he's like, hey, like I got the email, but I have nothing to do with it because my wife is the one that handles all that. And then he was just like, but I've been looking for a marketing person to help us, with like creating a pitch for a new, like, I think it's like 17 new constructions that's about to go up somewhere like Central Washington. It's like super bougie on the river. And he's just like, he's like, hey, like, I need some help with that.
Mhm.
So I met up with him, happens to just live literally like a quarter mile away from me, and he's just like nice, like a local person, like we can do face to face meeting, and basically, like, I gotta put a proposal together, but I felt like the meeting went really well, and they are a seasoned agent team, husband and wife team that does fair amount of volume. And basically, I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I just told her because he was like, hey, like, how much do you think this is gonna cost? And I was like, I don't know until I get with my team and put the proposal together. But I told him like right there and then, I was like, hey, I'll tell you what though, whatever this is gonna cost, I will give you some of that cost as a credit if you hire me for future listing shoots.
Mm.
And he's like, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Really.
kind of like the moral of the story is you got to do the cold outbound outreach consistently and constantly.
Mhm.
Um, and with that, let me transition over to you, Zach, because we talked about it a little bit last week, right?
Yeah.
You're actually, you have hired a VA to help you with the outbound. Like, I guess I don't know if I asked this last week. Like, where how did that idea generate in your mind? Because right before you came on, I was sharing with everybody that like that didn't even register in my mind. I just thought because of the brokerage I belong to, those were the people that I was gonna service, and business was always gonna be good. But
Mhm.
like it definitely didn't play out that way. So was it just through your other experience? Was it through any kind of coaching? Like, where did you come up with like, oh, like I need to be doing constant and consistent outbound
Yeah, for sure.
sales?
I got it through coaching.
Mm,
A lot of like the key, like I would say, like almost like the basics, like most big businesses do a lot of cold outreach. They do follow up after. They do onboarding calls for new clients. So I tried to incorporate as many of those things as I could as quickly as I could. The cold outreach came from coaching, and it's done through Instagram. And that's been a big change. I think I started doing that initially in April, and since I've doubled the amount of customers I bring
That is
on a
awesome.
monthly basis. I think previously, and I just started 2023, and that
Hmm.
first year felt like real slow. Like it felt like a grind,
Right.
because I was always like, I didn't know where my next client was coming from, and I'm not a real estate agent. I don't have any kind of brokerage to like lean into.
Right.
Um, so it was like it was all just like if I'm gonna make it, I gotta generate it myself.
Mm.
Um, but getting that rolling and moving was definitely key. Just doing, I think, 10 outbound messages, but like every day, following it up with leads that we had previously reached out to every 2 weeks, and then messaging and engaging before we actually send any message, just to give them a face, to give a brand identity, um, to show up on their feed, especially with comments. I would say comments are big. That was huge. And then, yeah, that allowed us to kind of get to like, I think last month we brought on 15 or 16 new clients,
Wow.
and trying to maintain like that level of consistency and new clients coming on every month. So that was
That
different.
that's amazing. So
Mhm.
how is your market in terms of like the competitiveness in the real estate media and marketing business, like in that DC Metro, Northern Virginia market? Like,
Mhm.
would you say it's pretty saturated? Like, you kind of have to stand out among others to be able to get the business.
I used to, I mean, I think on a previous call, I had touched on this. Yes, it is the Northern Virginia or the northeastern Virginia region has a really high average sale value. And it's a big market in general because you've got Washington, D.C. connected right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Maryland going into Baltimore just an hour away. So it's like a very dense area. There is a lot of competition. Um, but there's a big market too. So it's like there's
Right.
always, I think we've got like something like 40 to 50,000 agents accessible in
Wow.
that area. So it's like I always have someone new to touch base with and
Gotcha. So
follow up
you
with.
don't have to necessarily have like the, scarcity mindset. Like there's business to go around, plenty of
Yeah,
business to go around.
yeah. At least I think that even in a smaller market, um, actually I can't speak to that because I haven't experienced it. uh, but I find that definitely an abundance mindset of like I'm gonna collaborate with people in my area, whether they're competition or not, and learn like together and try to build each other up because there's enough to go around.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
that's the way I try to see it for
Do
sure.
you do you have a like a elevator pitch, kind of like a it factor pitch, like hey agents, when you work with Realty Productions, when you work with Zach, like this is
Mhm.
what you get, and this is how I'm able to help you. Do you kind of have that pitch?
Yeah, I actually do that pitch on site. So I'd mentioned it previously. It's the first property that we do is free, and about 70% of people upsell. I think my average order value on a free shoot is still around 300. Um, so it works out pretty well because people they kind of like they take it as like, oh, the photos are free, but then they always end up going for the 3D tour, the drone, the video, because they still have that marketing budget for that property. You just need to come in and step in and be like, hey, as you know, the photos are totally free, and looks like you want to get a little brand exposure on this one. This is a nice house, or this property is staged. Why don't you do a 3D tour? Like you put all this work into, having people letting people walk through and have the property look good. Why don't we do a 3D tour and allow that to be virtual and 24/7, a 24/7 open house? Because if you spend all this money on staging, you might as well let people, actually walk through it and not just look at photos. Um, so we try to stay consistent with the upsells. Upsells are like the biggest point of leverage
Oh,
for,
that's
for
that's
new
that's
clients.
that's pretty dope. I didn't even when I heard free, I thought it was just all free. Like it didn't even register that you can add this, you can add this, you can add this, and
Hmm.
it's but the value, the real value is not what you earn on that very first shoot.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
you're gonna follow up with them, provide excellent service,
Hmm.
so that they become
Hmm.
repeat customers
Hmm.
going forward.
Yeah, and I would definitely do that onboarding call afterwards if you can. Try to get that 15-minute Zoom scheduled, especially if the agent wasn't on site with you.
Gotcha.
If you didn't get a face-to-face interaction, because you're doing free work, and some agents, they don't go for the upsell. Um, if you're doing that, try to get on that face-to-face conversation afterwards, where you can actually, and even if you can't do that, record a Loom video like you had mentioned, and send them a Loom video of you walking through your CRM, exactly how to download, exactly where to put everything, make it seamless, and try to make it quick. And send that over to them when you send the listing delivery, so that they feel like they understand your process and you're grateful for their business and the opportunity to serve them, and really try to stand out from your competitors who might just be like showing up, taking the photos, shooting them a Dropbox link. And they're like, that works, but it's the service that makes people like, I know I can count on you.
That's
So
awesome.
an AI video where it kind of narrates like, here, welcome, thank you for joining us, blah 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 blah. Here's where you find your links. Here's how to use the platform, blah blah blah. But what you're saying is actually do like a personal avatar.
Yeah, I would do personal. Yeah, because
Okay, so like
yeah, yeah, I would put your face on it for sure. Because I
so
mean, if especially if you're a solo shooter, you're the face of the brand.
yeah,
At least that's I am right now. And if
Oh,
I'm going to be the face of the brand, I want to make as many touch points as I
I
can.
think that's pretty awesome, Zach, especially when you're showing them how to use like some of the stuff that you're providing them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like the bigger value is. I was having lunch with another like a colleague of mine who I like cover for whenever he's out of town and stuff. And we
Mhm.
were just kind of chuckling at the fact that, we provide the agents with all these different types of content.
Mhm.
But majority of the agents do not leverage it. They don't use it to its fullest like capacity. So it's almost like you're paying for it, but you're not. It's like having a fancy gym membership and
yeah.
only going like once a year.
100%, but a lot of them don't know how. Like
Right.
they actually just don't know the steps. So if you make the video and lay the steps out for them easily,
Right.
and the more personalized the video is, the better the retention is going to be, because personalization is, I mean, it takes more time. So if you have lots of time, do super personalized. If you don't have as much time, go more vague. Just make that one video. Don't say a name, but say, "Hey, thanks for your business. Super grateful. Let me jump in and show you my system."
Right.
Um, I would say that's a big key point of leverage, because that is a make or break for a lot of real estate photographers that are getting a new client, where it's like that client's working with them for the first time. They work with another company previously, and they know the other company's system. They know what to do, because they've already went through the headache of not knowing how to do it, and they walked through it and struggled, and they figured it out. And it's, especially for older clients, where it's like they're not technology fluent. So by you laying it out for them, they don't have that headache. Even if the photos are good, it's like, oh, is it going to be this much of a pain to do every time? I'd rather just use the O company, even though your content's
Right.
better. It's just like, if I'm going to spend 4 or 5 hours afterwards trying to figure out your system, that's
Right.
a headache.
And you
Gotcha.
use and
Gotcha.
did you use Loom for that?
Yeah, yeah. I just use Loom because it's easily shareable. I think the first you get a trial with Loom where you can make their normal size videos with no cap. After I believe a month, it caps down to 5 minutes unless you're on a paid membership.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
tried. What was it? Tasia, Camtasia, or something like that.
And you can actually just literally keep it as simple as possible. Just fire up the free Zoom, and then
mhm.
just do a screen share.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
Um.
would prefer that. They're gonna like that more if you actually walk them through the
Yep.
process, and you can have a quick banner.
So actually, this is a good lead in, because Zach, you and I talked about how some agents kind of have hard time downloading like the reels to their phone, right?
Yeah.
So check this out. Uh, I hope this is gonna work because I had to kind of do some. Oh, dang it. Okay, this is not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna try something else. So
That's okay.
once I start the stream, it doesn't let me change my
Uh,
camera angle, and I had actually set up a
Camera.
I set up like a phone sharing option because I wanted to show you um how they can do that. Okay, maybe I will make a Loom video and send it over to you. But just to let you know how we're sending you the Dropbox link.
Mhm.
So if you have the Dropbox app installed on your phone, and it could be a free account, when you click on the Dropbox link, it will go through the Dropbox app, and then there will be a download button, and then it will save directly to the photo album.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the trick is to let them know to just, you don't need a paid account. Like Dropbox is free. Just sign up for it. Have the app on your phone, and then when I send you the link, when you send them the link, they just have to click on it, and then they can save it to their photo album.
Yeah, because people get confused when it goes into their files.
Right.
And then it becomes like, if they've never cleaned their files up before, where is it? It's
exactly. And then you got to go into the folder, play it from there, and then save it in order for that to. So I was trying to pick a one-click solution, and having a Dropbox app on your phone seems to fix all that.
Yeah, I personally love that because it's convenient for me to interact with.
Right. And our goal was for you to just be able to like literally copy and paste what we send you just straight out to the agent, so you don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah. With the RTV platform, you click download, and boom, you got all your images. The video should be right there, in one click.
I think you're a little quiet, Henry.
Sorry.
Could you? You're good. You're good.
Move that closer. I said the RTV. There we go. That probably helps. The RTV video platform for me anyway gives me they click on the link to go to the delivery site, and then they just click on download. And they get all their HD images and video and all that shit. One click.
To their photo album on their phone.
To their personal drive, wherever they're clicking from. So it's on their phone. It's on their phone.
Oh. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna download to their personal photo album on their iPhone.
It allows to a zip file, which
it'll save into their files. On their
right,
phone.
it'll save into the folder. What we're talking about is having stuff saved directly to the camera roll, right? The photo album, so that when you go to share something on Instagram or Facebook, you can just pick it. That's always been the pain point. Speaking of that reel, Zach, do you mind if I share the reel from today and then kind of talk about a couple of things?
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
All right, cool. I was gonna do like a Loom video and send it over to you, but I'm like, hey, he might jump on the call, so I'll save it. So, all right, here we go. So let's just I'm just gonna play it one time through, and then I'll come back to it.
Welcome to 3603 Cornell Drive in the sought-after Daniels Run Woods community in Fairfax City. This beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-bath home features a gas fireplace, a fully finished basement with walkout access to a beautiful private backyard with loads of outdoor living space. Located within the Fairfax city limits, you'll enjoy everything that this charming community has to offer, all while being less than 3 miles from the Vienna Metro Station and within the Fairfax High School school pyramid.
Yeah. Super
All right. Hey, great job shooting that.
Welcome
Dude,
to
I love
3603 Cornell
intro
Drive
of,
in the
her
sought-after Daniels
walking
Run Woods community in Fairfax City.
This
This
was
beautiful
awesome
3-bedroom,
shot.
3-bath home features a
I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I love how you shot her walking along the porch. This was awesome framing. This was a great intro. So all right, so I want to share with you a couple of things that I share with our edit team. And then see if you agree or disagree. And then I've got a couple of things that I can mention to you to make it even better next time. So 100%. One of the things that we talked about, and this is something we've always talked about, is we're gonna we're gonna definitely pay more attention to the caption in terms of kind of like the continuity. So meaning like she says welcome, but it shouldn't be welcome and then to 3603. It should be welcome to 3603 Cornell Drive, then in sought after. You know what I mean? Like the caption needs to be a little bit more fluid. And like make sense punctuation wise, right? So we're gonna work on that a little bit, and that is something that these guys have to kind of work on because English isn't their first language, but it is something that we're gonna definitely be mindful of. So that was that, and then one of the things that we're gonna start to do is over here. She mentions the Fairfax city limits. And then she mentions the school, the school district. So we're going to try to kind of do some like either like Google business profile of those locations that the agent is mentioning, or maybe even like a, what do you call those Google map, like the 360 view. Maybe we can do like a screen grab or something like that just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then the other thing too is it would actually be helpful if you send us the photo files, because then we can kind of use, especially in this case where we had to kind of crop the horizontal video to the vertical so it's not as wide. We can try to leverage the photos to kind of show like we can do like 3 different horizontal photos to fill out the 9:16 frame to kind of keep it a little bit more interesting and use it as a B-roll as well.
I like that idea. Yeah, I'm going to be getting a new gimbal to get that switched out. So that
awesome.
Shooting in vertical. I also ordered a teleprompter to try to make agent on camera stuff more seamless.
Oh, nice.
Did you get the new one? Or which one did you get?
I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm going to get the RS4.
No, not the
that's
gimbal,
what Jay recommended.
The prompter.
Oh, I don't remember 100%. I think the most popular one was Elgato. But that one was like $250, and for this one I'm not sure what I need or want, so I just went the cheaper option. I think it was like $119 on B&H, and yeah.
Is it by any chance the one that kind of like slides in front of your lens?
I think so. Okay,
great. Because so I have used all sorts of teleprompter when doing agent on camera stuff. The best solution for us as the photographers is always efficiency, because I have tried like the standalone teleprompter, like the iPad version, but the best thing to do is to do the on camera on the lens. But here's what you might run into is sometimes you're not going to be as close to the agent. So if you're further than like 6 to 8 feet, it could get a little bit difficult to see.
Yeah. Let's finish the video and then we can jump into it.
Yeah, for sure. The one thing that I can suggest for you, Zach, is again, like when she says this Fairfax limit, and especially when she's mentioning like that metro station and the high school, I noticed that the metro station was about like 8-9 minutes away. If this is a neighborhood like you're familiar with and you have time to like swing by, like if you could grab a shot of the metro station, even just like a 1 or 2 quick clip, like, and we throw that on as a B-roll, that is typically gonna look the best. So that's just something to keep in mind. Usually what I do is whenever an agent does talking on the camera, like I make a mental note or I make a note on my phone. And then what I try to do is I try to kind of swing by and see if I can grab a, quick shot or two, because I know that it will come into play, as a B-roll later.
I'm a little hesitant on that though. I get a little nervous doing that because I've done that before, and I fall into this trap of like I'm shooting the amenities for them. And it's like I'm getting a quick clip or 2 of the metro.
Yep.
And then it turns into like, hey, can you also grab a photo? And while you're in that area, can you also swing by this? And since there's not a price anchor set up front.
So here's the thing. When they bring it up, right? When they bring it up, then it becomes, oh, I have a neighborhood feature that you can add for, $129 or $175. Like I charge $195. at any point the agent is asking me to grab some neighborhood stuff. And I have a limit of up to 5 locations.
So
Right?
you just do it like as they ask you.
Right. Otherwise, if I'm doing it out of my own decision because I think it's gonna make my content better, then I just do it as long as it's not too much out of the way, right? And sometimes what I'll do is if I'm scheduled to be on site for like 2 hours, I will wrap everything up in like hour and 45 minutes because I want to leave myself 15 minutes to be able to, drop by at one of the locations that they mentioned and, grab a quick shot.
Yeah.
Right. And then what happens is what happens next time is if it's like more in the popular area that you shoot, then I'm actually able to recycle those as well.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it on your own, don't charge. But if they're like, oh, like you're gonna be there, like I noticed that you were there last time, then you're just like, yeah, it's 150 for neighborhood feature or whatever you kind of come up with the pricing.
Yeah, I think amenity. I just have it as like, I think it's community photos or amenity something. But it's like 100. So it's
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then and a lot of times like there's a lot of condos and stuff in Seattle downtown. Like just last week I had to go shoot a condo, but they had like a strict, you can't take pictures of people and you can't ask them to move and stuff. But I happen to have like the empty pool and empty exercise room like from the previous shoot, so I can just recycle
Perfect.
those.
Yeah, that's convenient. Yeah. I would be in DC. It's frequently the same, where it's like tons of large apartment buildings and
Right.
condos and stuff like that. I would do probably more so. It's rare that I work in the same building over and over again, opposed to like the same area. where I
Right.
can easily
Definitely.
cycle in those
Definitely.
that stock footage, which is something
I
need to
set aside like a Saturday, especially during the summer when the weather's nicer. I just set aside and then I just make a list. I'm gonna hit this city, this city, this city. I'm gonna go here, 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 and I have like a B-roll day, like once a month, where I'm just dedicated to driving around. Sometimes I'll bring my wife along, and we'll grab lunch, and she'll drive, drop me off, and then she'll just go off. So like that actually turns out to be a pretty good investment because then I can then I can sell the neighborhood feature for $195, but then I'm just reusing the things that I already shot.
I like that. That's a good idea. Yep. I'm a fan. I'm gonna get on it. I might not get on it right now because I'm busy, but
No, I gotcha. But especially now that like the winter is coming up, so whenever you do have a little bit of downtime, that comes out. Like I think it will definitely pay off when you have that. And I sometimes will show the agent the video of the one with the neighborhood feature and one without, and they can clearly tell the difference. Like it's different vibe. So they're like, oh, like I want that.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, Jay, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
We had mentioned the teleprompter earlier. I'm kind of getting that because I like your idea of the video retainer or the agent retainer.
Yep.
I think that could be potentially a nice revenue vertical to
Absolutely.
build out to help maintain stability, especially during the slower months.
Absolutely.
What does your conversation look like going into a new relationship with that?
So are we talking like a new relationship, like I just met the agent, or bringing up the marketing conversation with like an existing client who
Probably the existing client, because that's
Okay.
where
So the biggest thing that I try to kind of figure out is that agent, like, does that agent care to grow? Because there are agents out there, whether you would believe it or not, like there are agents out there that really don't care. They're just like, hey, I'm just doing this as a side hustle, or like I'm already plenty busy. But this is only gonna work with agents that actually want to grow their business. And it always comes down to how can I help the agent be seen everywhere, like make it look like they're everywhere at all times, right?
The only caveat, I would probably want to start on a single platform. I would probably only want to do Instagram personally.
Oh, yeah. No. Everywhere at all times, meaning like, oh, you're out showing, but then how are you posting all these stuff on Instagram? Like, that's what I mean. Not necessarily
Okay.
like
I got you.
all the
That
other
makes sense.
platform.
Yeah.
I would actually, I like your approach, and I've actually scaled back. We used to say you could be on everything, and we actually scale back now. We're only doing Meta. So
Smart.
we're curating all the content for Instagram, and then if someone wants to repurpose that on different platform, they can do that, or they can kind of pay us extra to
That's probably
do that.
what I would lean towards is
Yeah,
because you can integrate it with Meta Business Suite
Yep.
and make it simple and easy.
Yep. And that was one of the mistake that I think I made in the beginning, trying to kind of do everything all at once, and it ended up that nothing was really super optimized for any one platform.
Yeah.
So I like
Trying
that
to be-
idea of going straight into just Instagram. So what I would do is like, hey, like take a look at their social presence. Are they consistent, right? Because I always preach consistency constantly. So are you consistent, and then are you constant on your branding? Hi, Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
And actually, Rob will chime into this after we're done. We're talking about like agent marketing, monthly retainer kind of thing.
Okay.
So usually I will ask them like, hey, like how come you are not consistent on social media? And usually they'll say things like, well, I don't have time. I don't know how to make it like that. It's usually the same type of response that they give you. And that's when you can kind of swoop in and go, hey, what if I can help you be more visible, but at the same time, help you save time, but most importantly, allow for you to actually be seen by more sellers, right? And allow for them to see your work without you lifting a finger. What do you mean, right? It's like, okay, like here's the plan. You and me, once a month, we're gonna get together, right? Every time you have a listing, or at one of your listings or at your office, right? I'm gonna have a list of content that we can create, and all you have to do is just follow my instruction. We're gonna batch create the content, and then I'm just gonna have a system where this gets posted throughout the month, and you don't have to do anything.
Easy. How many videos are you generally making for them?
So I started over promising a lot. So I would say
Not to be the first time.
yeah. So I mean, I'm just happy that you guys can learn from all the mistakes that I made. Oh boy, like we at one point was posting something every day. I'm talking 7 days a week, 30 days a month for agent, and I quickly realized like that is not sustainable. Because then the content starts to suffer. So right now, what we're doing is like either a 2 reel per week and 3 post, right? Like some kind of a combination of 2 reels, 2 story, 2 post, or like 2 reel, 1 reel, 2 story, 1 post. You can create different tier, and say like the standard is 1 reel, 2 post, and 1 carousel. Right, and then like the next tier would be like 2 reels and 2 stories and 1 carousel. You know what I mean? So you can kind of build that structure, and then you would price it. It might be like $295, and then $495, and then $795 or whatever.
Would you price it at that point? Like, where are you priced at? Because our markets are very different, but they're both more expensive markets to like a degree.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. The thing that I'm working with Rob on right now, right? Rob's got a team that does a lot of business in a specific community, and they came to Rob and was asking for hey, like I just need stuff to be posted. So we said we have what we call like a 10-day blitz, where we create like 10 days worth of social media content for a listing every time they have a listing. And then that kind of got turned into like, okay, like how about we just did 5 days, but then like we can do two community specific posts. Right. So you could kind of set it at, and I'll tell you, I know we're in a different market, but I feel like if you position this service as, hey, I'm helping you save time, the conversation basically comes down to how much is your time worth?
Oh yeah, like
Right.
I feel like I can get the sales part of it
Mm-hmm.
flowing for the most part, and I've had a couple different people like actually ask me for the service.
Yep.
But again, at first, for a long time, I'm like, I just want to do the listing content. I just want to get good at this and get a system built out and figure this
Right.
out before I start expanding. But now I'm like, okay, I've got some extra bandwidth. I feel like I've got a good handle on 80 to 90% of all the listing content.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready to move into like kind of like this next vertical that's still within my current audience.
Right.
You're doing a 10-day blitz.
So this is kind of ironic that you're bringing this conversation up. Remember, I asked you for the original photos.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that I was working on with our team was that I was gonna do a mock-up of what a 10-day blitz looks like for that listing for you, just so you can take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The idea of 10-day blitz is really super ideal because we already have the photos. We already have lots of B-rolls of the house. So all you have to do is get the agent on camera to do a couple of things here and there, right? So that reel that we watched earlier, between the intro and the the middle kind of talking head portion, we can actually create 2 more content out of that just by splitting those up.
Yeah.
Right? So coming up with 10 pieces of content, whether it's like 3 reels and 3 stories and 1 carousel, or 2 reels, 2 stories, and 2 posts, and like we can come up with that. So that's what actually I have my team working on, and I was gonna kind of share that with you to go like, hey, like what do you think your agents are gonna pay for something like this?
Hey Jay, do you want to share the samples that you did?
Yeah. Do you mind, Rob?
No, I don't care.
Okay, awesome.
You know,
Let me.
These agents are never going to get on camera, so mind you that they're 75 years old. So, we gotta work with what we got.
Yeah. So the one that Rob's clients, they are never gonna get on the camera, and we had a very limited. So basically, I kind of took the worst case scenario approach, and I said, okay, so basically all we have are photos and the videos that you would shoot at the house, right? No agent, on camera talent. So this is what we were able to come up with. Let's see here. So here we go. So here's an example. So 10-day blitz sample. So day 1, Instagram carousel.
Mm-hmm.
Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. So it's like the cover, the photo of the home, chef's kitchen, private backyard oasis, and this is what it looks like.
Love it.
And the way we craft it is not only do we come up with the design, but we also come up with like the concept and the copy and the call to action. Everything that agent, all they have to do is just like literally copy and paste it.
Yeah.
So day 2 is a single post, or it could be kind of like a carousel. So it's like, it's a two image carousel, right? Headline, text overlay, would you rather sip your morning coffee? So basically this means like if you're using this as a story, you can put in your own text instead of relying on the text that's on the graphic, right? So we're doing all the ideation for, hey, this is the type of content that we're going to create, based on kind of like the vibe and the location and, what the house looks like. So here, day 3, this is a reel. So it looks something like this. It's more like a, image collage kind of thing turned into, using the...
Mute it. I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, so this is like a combination of using the photos and the video that was captured. Also, I think in this case, like we try to kind of add in the virtual staging a little bit. So the more assets you have, the more creative we can get with like creating something. Now, if the agent can get on the camera and be a talent, the reel would, become the agent talking head instead of, coming up with something like this.
Yeah.
So day 4, another reel. This is like, wide drone shot, the desert scape, slow pan into those. So we're kind of giving you an explanation of why we created something. And we're, so when you're posting this, you should copy and paste POV. You just escaped city life and landed here. And that looks, something like this, right? So whether you want to use this as a reel, but then repurpose it as a story, like that's completely, up to the agent or whoever is posting. Day 5, another reel. And this one is guess the price. So we're trying to get, this is like kind of us trying to get some reaction out of people, get some engagement, right?
Yeah.
Guess the price, comment below kind of thing. Day 6, this one trying to focus more on the backyard. Just making sure I turn the volume down on everything. So, and depending on what type of house it is, like we can section out the parts of the house to create its own separate reels and its own separate content. And if you do Zillow 360 and you save those 360 photo files, we can even generate like that 360 photo that people can, swipe their fingers and, move the things around. I actually have another idea that I came up with that I'll share with you guys later. Here's a single post, and day 8 is reels, and day 9 another reel. So this we overdid it on the reel side a little bit, but like the perfect mix is about like 3 reels, 3 stories, 3 posts, and then like 1 mega carousel, like 10 image kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then the entire premise of this is to drive the clicks, right, to go to the listing website, which is ideally located in your link in bio in Instagram.
Okay, so you would put the current listing website or your current main listing that you're advertising at that time, link in bio.
Right. We actively update all the active listings in our client's link in bio.
I like that.
Right. Because you cannot put the link anywhere on Instagram. It doesn't work. You can put the link in the story, right? And by the way, fun fact, you guys, I just got suckered by Meta to paying $80 a month so I can put links in my reels, and I can do it twice a month. So I'm testing it out to see if it's worth it.
Is it like an advertising strategy? Or
I got the Meta verified thing, but it's like a premium verified for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And they will let me share an actual like clickable link on a reel for 2 posts every month.
Interesting.
And it was $80.
They really want to keep you on that platform.
Yeah. So I will report back and see if that was worth the investment.
Yeah.
But I do have the blue check mark.
we appreciate your.
Yep.
your
I am not a bot. I am legit. So yeah, like something like that, and I'm kind of being super careful because we are not quite ready to like fully provide this white labeling service to reps just yet, but it is something that we are working on where we're able to do all this for you, and all you have to do is take care of the capture part.
Kind of like the beta. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Makes sense. Yeah, just try it out, do a couple test runs.
Right. Because our team is capable of doing it because they've been doing it for me and I am Third Media. But we're still kind of working through like, okay, hey, like what's our turnaround time gonna be? What can we expect? Like how consistent can we keep it? Because if we just got a last minute request like, hey, I'm shooting this tomorrow, can I have everything ready by Friday? Like that's not gonna work.
So in theory, if I were to have a retainer client where I had them doing something like 10 talking head posts per month,
right?
Of like that's just like branding themselves, not
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And then when they have a listing, they want to do a blitz on like that.
Exactly.
So
then
that
they can pay for the
price
blitz
for-
separately.
in the blitz can be separate.
Right.
And that gives them additional social credit and stuff
Right.
like that. Okay. Cool.
Right. So
Right.
in terms of just some of the just kind of things that I have experienced when setting that up, you definitely want to do batch creation. So I wouldn't meet more than once to create all the reels, right?
Once-
And you want to make that very clear, and then give yourself like plenty of time so you can hit up all the spots. And it works the best when you pre-send the script and all the video ideas to the agent and have them either look over it or approve it, so that when you show up, you're spending more time on the capture and kind of fine tuning, not like, oh, let's just change everything that you already prepare, because a lot of agents will do that to you. And a lot of times they'll show up completely not prepared.
Yeah, I figure I would at least send it to them and get confirmation 48 hours beforehand that it is good to go.
So I would take into consideration Zach the camera guy, right? How much time is Zach the camera guy worth, right? And there has to be the Zach the pre-production guy. How much time is the pre-production team going to spend on coming up with the script and all that, right? And then how much time is going to be the expense in terms of you editing those videos, right? And then how much profit does Zach the business owner have to make? And I think that's a good equation to have in coming up with how you can price it.
And I think, Jay, too, something worth mentioning, when you start going down this road, to the importance of offering and providing monthly reporting and statistics to the agents. When you start venturing down these retainer roads, because they're going to want to see results, they're going to want to see what they're paying for. So, taking them and having some type of reporting that shows, okay, we started, here's day one, and that way in 30 days you can start to show that growth. It also becomes a case study for you to be able to show other agents, I took this agent from this to this, to show the value. But thinking about how you're going to do the reporting to the agent every month, because some of my agents, they didn't want reports, but then after like 12 months, they were like, what have you done? I had the reporting so I could pull it back up for them and send it over to them.
Gotcha.
And they, they were kind of like, you could tell if they were debating whether to keep the service or not. But once they saw the growth and saw that they were getting exposure, they kind of went, okay, yeah, we're going to keep that this year. So, making sure whether you're providing it, whether they want it or not, having it in your back pocket's an important key to keeping that retainer.
For sure. And then how do you guys feel about, so like once I've kind of tested this with a couple of different agents, and I've got an idea on how to actually go through the process, and I think I can do it consistently. Would you guys advise marking the monthly price up like triple and then dropping it to double for an annual? So like having it like $3,000 a month for 12 months, 36,000 a year, and then dropping it to like 2,000 a month if you pay upfront annual now.
Oh, me and Rob gonna have different opinion on this. So I'll go first, okay?
After the or something like that.
So
like
the so the marketing agency world. Once I entered into that world, I noticed that a lot of people, what they do is it's like like $3,000 a month. But then if you pay the entire year, you typically get 2 months off. So if it's $3,000 a month, instead of it being 36,000 for the year, you would do like 30,000, and that's how I did it. So my retainers are 1,600 a month, but when they pay for it annually, they pay 16,000. Plus the setup. So I have done few different variations of it. I've done one where, because our setup cost is 2,500, so I have done it where if you pay annually, I will waive the setup cost because I know that you're going to be with me for a year. right?
Interesting. Now,
I
why?
charge the setup cost for those agents that might, say after like a month or two, like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore, when we spent all this upfront time, like getting their accounts linked and, all that stuff, right? So for the annual, for a season, I went, okay, if you're doing annual, then we'll just do 16,000 and then you pay the setup, or you pay the full annual price, but then we waive the setup.
How long does it take you to get a setup done?
We typically say like the first 30 days is like setting up, going back and forth, dialing everything in. So we're typically like, okay, like, but keep in mind, like, our program is a little bit more involving than just social media stuff, right? Because we create YouTube videos, we do email marketing, like there's a lot, we build landing pages for agents. So there's a lot that's involved. So we typically say, hey, like, our goal is to have you ready to go in the first 30 days.
But you think you could cut that down a lot if you were just doing Instagram?
Yeah,
Or
because
just-
only thing you have to do is just connect the Instagram account to whatever software you're using. Or a lot of times, here's another thing that I learned. Like, there are software solution out there that'll help you, like, manage multiple accounts and schedule posts and things like that. But what you are not able to do is actually take advantage of those like little widgets and little things that they offer, like on stories and reels and stuff. So we actually switched over to having access to the client's business account directly, and my team is logging into their Instagram account directly on their phone and posting, so we
Yeah.
can take advantage of all the, because those generate more engagement. That's algorithm friendly.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that aspect of it.
Right. So
it makes it
from
easier
that
for both
standpoint, you're not gonna need a whole lot of setup time. So I don't even think that you need to charge a setup fee.
Yeah, so you could do more of like a trial. You could do more.
You can do like, yeah, right. You can do a
Yeah.
trial, like, 14-day or 30-day, and then it kicks in. But you definitely want to have a payment platform that will allow for that to happen like automatically. So
think so,
whether
yeah.
you're signing up for Stripe or something.
Yeah, I just use Stripe.
So I have done annual payments. I have taken, semi-annual payments. I know Rob's gonna have different opinion on it, and there's a part of me that agree with Rob, because there have been some clients where I was like, man, I wish they did not pay me upfront for the
Rather
whole year.
refund you.
Yeah. Not necessarily refund, but some clients that I would have just kind of said like, hey, maybe this isn't a good fit for us. You know what I mean? So
What are your
take it
thoughts?
away, Rob.
And kind of the flip side of it, and I think more of my perspective of the whole upfront, getting everything upfront, is more when you've got multiple photographers. I think is really where my different perspective comes into it. I never wanted the upfront year in advance because I didn't want to have to keep managing that money in my head. I've seen companies and photographers where they've done those retainers up front, and then it's come time to pay other photographers for contract work and stuff. Well, they spent that money ahead of time instead of keeping it there for as the projects progressed throughout the year. So when talking with some photographers, they were like, that money's gone. We spent it on this, this, and this. So I think that's more of the perspective that I look at it, is when you start to bring on other photographers and you've got those additional expenses, you almost have to set that upfront money aside as you're working through, where some people have blown through that money, and then the agent's like, hey, I got another listing. They're going, oh, well, now this is cutting into this month's profits because I spent all that money before. So, it definitely has its place. It definitely works. But like I said, I think it's more of the perspective when you have multiple photographers, it can get a little tough because in slower months, you might be burning up some of those funds to cover different marketing aspects and things. Then when it comes time to the busy season, you're kind of fronting the money back again out of the current shoots.
Yeah, and it becomes a vicious cycle almost. Yeah, I'll definitely not. I'm not, like, I haven't even done my first like trial with this at all. So like I'm like alpha. I'm not even beta.
Yeah.
So
You're
I'm
alpha.
gonna figure that out, and hopefully
Do you have do you have like a favorite agent, like a good client that would be like a good prospect for you for this?
Yeah, I've got people that are like
Yeah.
friends.
I,
I
I
actually literally today had an agent. I jumped on a Zoom with her real quick because she was actually first shoot yesterday.
mm,
She was we did a property with her. Free shoot. She ordered photo, floor plans, 3D tour, and drone. And then afterwards, she was like, "I wish I ordered video because I like your social media videos." And I was like, oh, "Okay, well, it's
mm,
too late on that."
there you
Um,
go.
but she was having trouble with downloads, so she was getting some she was trying to send the zip file to the MLS instead of
Mm,
opening the folder and sending the photos. Um, so I jumped on a call with her like super quick to just walk her through it. And I mentioned the teleprompter because I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing this to try to help get agents on camera and make this more seamless. And she's like, oh, I've got one of those. Like, if you want to come over and try it, and we can like demo some media and stuff like that. And because she's trying to get into all that. But I do have a couple of clients that are like that, where they're like, they've asked me directly, being like, hey,
that
like, I want to do this. Like, is this something you can do? I'll pay you. Like, I'm like, okay. But like, I would trial with them a couple times.
Yeah, for sure. I would say try it with a couple people because it is definitely a different different it's a different feel than just doing the listing stuff. And then there's gonna be a lot of like part of like I call it the beauty. Like part of the beauty of doing that kind of work is that I, the photographer, get to bring the best out of the agent because not
Absolutely.
everybody's gonna be camera friendly and but it's like it's our job to build up their confidence. Like
Yeah.
even if they come looking terrible, it is my job to go, you look fantastic, and lie through the teeth so that it builds up their confidence, right?
Hmm.
But then when you get them to that point where they're just like, you can now sense that confidence, man, that's a pretty good feeling of accomplishment. Like I have several agents who are, super shy, timid, but then, after working with them for a couple months, like they're just like, knocking them out left and right. Like that's a great feeling to have.
Yeah. I like
One
that
of the
idea.
things that I did before I invested in a teleprompter was I had my iPad, and there's teleprompter apps, and when we were shooting a community video, I just held the iPad above the camera for the agents and let them read it off that to see how it would work before I went and invested, into different type of technology where the camera's behind the actual teleprompter. So if you got an iPad, there's quite a few
I'm
different
gonna start
apps that
with that.
work great
I already
for
ordered the
that.
teleprompter, but that's a good idea.
Okay.
I've
Is
got
it
the
so Zach, if you are ordering, if you order the teleprompter for that purpose, like agent media day, stationary like batch content creation, I would actually suggest a bigger one that uses iPad, not the one that attaches to the camera with the iPhone.
I believe it attaches to the camera so that it can be on a gimbal rig, but it holds up to an iPad or a 12.9-inch
Oh,
screen.
okay. So you could be pretty decently far away,
Yeah,
and then they'll be
yeah,
able to see. Okay,
I
good,
can
good,
still blow the words up so
awesome.
that it's like, they're reading like 5 to 8
Got it.
words at a time.
Yeah, because you kind of want to get that compression. So you want to be shooting at like 50 mil, 85 mil, not like 24 millimeter like kind of vlogging style. So okay, that's cool. Um, but I
Definitely
tell you, man,
super cool.
like it is one of the. I think it's one of the things that not enough real estate photographers are doing is dabbling into that marketing space of monthly retainer, a consistent kind of recurring revenue, because there's gonna come a point in time, I think, eventually where just the capturing and like that whole listing media game right now is sort of like race to the bottom. So like we gotta add additional value to the agents to show them that, hey, like you still need us, right? Like we do things for you that you can't do with XYZ next door photo company that charges $79 a shoot.
Oh my God, I don't think I have anybody in my area that's. I think the lowest I've got in my area is Home Jab. I think they're the cheapest.
Yeah, man, some of these Zillow guys, man, they're getting down there.
Really? I don't know. I guess I don't see them because they don't market themselves as much. or
Well,
something.
that's good. I mean, I'm super pumped for you because like you probably know Instagram best out of all of us. So
Yeah.
when you start to do this, we would love for you to share some stuff on how we can do it.
Yeah,
But I think it would be I think it will be awesome. And the thing about Instagram and Reels, man, once you make the agent as the collaborator, oh my gosh, like it's just
It
gonna
blows
take
up.
off. Yep.
Yeah, it blows up because you're immediately attached to all their engagement, and
Right.
everybody sees you and them together, and
Right.
the agents that follow them, if they like them, they're seeing you do a good job, and they know exactly who to go to get this.
And you know who follows a lot of real estate agents on Instagram?
Real estate agents.
Other real estate agents. It's like the perfect place to like advertise. So our team's been doing a heavy push on, hey, anytime we're posting anything, we are making the listing agent a collaborator.
Yeah, or at least inviting them. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Hey Zach, any chance I could like talk to your ear for like 20 minutes sometime this week?
Yeah, that's fine, man. I'm available. I'd love to jump on a call. I will be out of my area this weekend, but tomorrow or maybe Friday morning. But I'm on the East Coast, so it's a little our times are a little at odds at times. But yeah, for sure.
Reach out to you via Instagram or something, or
Yeah, hit me on Insta. Easiest for me.
we'll do.
Cool.
I'm building an Instagram campaign right now, and I just really want to make sure I got this dialed in before I just launch this thing.
Yeah, just copy my Insta, man. It's easy. that's my right.
All right, gentlemen. Well, it's about that time. Thank you for hopping on. It's another great conversation. I do have something that I'm cooking up that I'm so excited to share with you guys. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. Let's just say I had a very heavy Chat GPT session, and like the ideas were brewing in my head today. So and I do think it's something that may potentially be able to benefit all of you guys as well. So excited to share that maybe next week, maybe the week after. So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I couldn't get on TikTok today. But man, TikTok Live, ever since I've been doing TikTok Live, like I've been like gaining followers. So I don't know, somebody's watching out there. So
Hey, it's working.
anyways, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week, and hit me up if you have any questions, and we'll see you next week.
100%. Oh, real quick before you end it,
Yep.
do you have a recording of this?
Yes, I will send it to you.
Yeah, can you send
Yeah.
the recording to me? Thank you.
We'll do. All right.